to all our viewers out there. My name is Heinrich Neetling and welcome to Mathematical Literacy. In today's lesson, we'll be looking at percentiles and growth charts. Let's get straight to it. Okay, now let's quickly look at the first question. It says, Wieltefriede High School wants to host a beauty pageant. Mrs. Diale and the team has the task of sifting through all the beauty pageant's entry forms received from the learners. Refer to the information below to answer the following questions. So looking at this, we have our BMI below 18.5, that's underweight. 18.5 to 24.9 is our normal weight. 25 to 29.9 is overweight. And then 30 and above is obese. Also important here is the data of the 5 final contestants. Right, so their statistics is given to us in terms of their height in meters, their mass in kilograms, as well as their BMI. But important to note here is that there are some missing information, right? So here's the missing value X, the BMI, and in terms of contestant number 5, the missing value Y, which refer to the mass in kilograms, is what we need to calculate. Okay, now let's quickly look at question 1A. It says, calculate the missing answer X, that is the BMI classification of contestant number 2. You may use the formula BMI equals your weight divided by height in meters squared. Right, so let's answer this one. So here our formula is already provided. So therefore I'm going to jump straight into my second step where I have to substitute. Right, so what is my weight? Weight in kilograms is given here is 44. So therefore I'm going to say 44 divided by, my height here is already in meters, so I'm going to say divided by 1,55, that is meters, and I square that value. So I'm going to type in exactly, and I want you to do the exact same thing there at home. So I'm going to say 44 divided by 1.55 squared, and that gives me an answer of 18,3142558, right? And this will be, if I look at it, kilograms per square meter. That's my unit. Now remember it says we must classify the BMI classification. So it is 18,3. Now looking at this, 18,3 is, yeah, we agree, it's below 18,5. So therefore we can say that contestant number 2 then is underweight. Guys, I hope that is clear to you. Remember we did the calculation. Now we are classifying this contestant based on the BMI of this contestant. All right, let us look at our next question. Question number 1B. It says calculate the missing value Y, the mass of contestant 5, if her BMI is 30. You may use the following formula. Again, the formula for BMI is provided. Step 2, I'm going to substitute, right? So do I know what the weight in kilogram is? No, that is, so I'm going to label it Y as indicated in my question. So Y divided by, do I know what the height is? Yes. Height equals 1,55 meters. And remember to square that value. But now, what is important this time around? The BMI is given. It says, if a BMI is 30, so therefore, I can substitute the BMI as well by saying BMI. Can we see here the formula wants the BMI? So therefore, I say BMI equals 30. So step 2 is completed. I substituted. Okay, now, remember you must calculate the weight, which is now represented by Y. So therefore, I'm going to make Y the subject of the formula by saying Y equals to 1,55 meters squared multiply. Remember here, I divided. I'm going to do the inverse operation of multiplication now. So I'm going to say that multiply by 30. Okay, so 1.55 meters squared multiply by 30. So that gives us an answer of, let me quickly read it, 1.55 squared multiplied by 30. So that gives us an answer of 72,075. Okay, and remember, what are we calculating now? We're calculating the mass. So therefore, remember to add your unit, and our unit in this case is kilograms. Guys, I hope that is clear to you. Okay, I calculated the mass, and the mass is in kilograms. Right, our next question. We're saying here, Mrs. DeHarley stated that the average height of the final 5 contestants is 1,562 meters. Okay, so the average height of the 5 final contestants equals 1,562 meters. So what is our aim? Okay, what is it we need to calculate? It says verify, showing all calculations whether a statement is correct or not. Guys, now let me just quickly say something important to you. When we do a verify question, and this is a level 4 type of question, it must be accompanied by calculations. Hence, we are saying showing all calculations. We can't just arrive at an answer by saying she is correct or not correct. For that, there will be no marks allocated. So please remember, when we verify, make sure that you do your calculations. What else is important? We're going to verify based on your calculations, not our memorandum, our marking guidelines, but based on what you've been indicated. And I'll explain that once we've answered this question. Now, with this specific question, we are bringing in another concept, right? And that is the average, still part of data handling. How do we determine the average again? We take the sum total by means of adding all the values together, divided by how many numbers we have in our data set, right? Now, we're working with the height, right? Here's the height in meters, so I'm going to have to work with the values here. We agree on that. So therefore, I'll say then 1,51 plus 1,55 plus my 1,53 plus my 1,67 plus 1,55. And remember, they are all in meters. I'm going to repeat my 1,51 plus 1.55 plus my 1,53 plus my 1,67 plus my 1,55 divided by, remember, I'm determining the average, right? How many numbers in my data set? Remember, there are 5 contestants, so I divide that by 5. So I'm going to type that in, 1.51 plus 1.55 plus 1.53 plus 1.67 plus your 1.55, right? That I'll take, so that will give me a sum total of 7,81, and I divide that by 5. So that gives me an answer of 1,562 meters. Right, so looking at this, it says, and I'm going to read the statement again, Mrs. DeHarley stated that the average height of the 5 final contestants is 1,562 meters. Now looking at my calculation, I got the exact same answer. Do we agree that the average height is 1,562 meters? Therefore, I conclude by saying her statement is correct. And please note, it's so important for you to make this conclusion. All right? Your educator, the mark is not going to conclude for you. Hence, you must say, in this case, it is correct. Let me quickly take you 2 minutes back. Remember I said, when we have a question like this, we conclude based on your answer. Now, let me quickly explain that. Let's say, for an example, somehow through your calculation, let's say when you typed in the decimal numbers here, the 1,51, the 1,55, and somehow you've made a mistake, right? Then you still divided by the 5, and now you got to an answer here of, let's say, 2,35 meters. Then your answer is not the same as what Mrs. DeHarley indicated. We agree. That is not 1,562. So what will happen in this case? Now you will conclude by saying, therefore, it is not correct. And in this case, please note, we cannot penalize you because now we mark according to your calculation. We already penalized you for getting the incorrect answer, but according to your conclusion, it is not the same as 1,562. So what am I trying to tell you? Please make sure that you answer all the questions and you make sure you follow that instruction. Guys, let us quickly take a short break. After the break, we'll continue with more mathematical literacy. I see you soon.